Alrighty, let's try that. Let's try that one more time. Good. Well, good morning. Good morning again, and welcome to. Hang on a second here. There you go. Welcome to the morning report. My name is Willie Lawson, and and the morning report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com. I am fightbackmediatv.com. We are simulcasting on Facebook on the Morning Report page, so you will see this. If you subscribe to the Morning Report page, it's already there. It's already there. Uh, Yay. I don't know how well that's going to work, but hopefully it'll work to our benefit. All right. Today I really wanted to see something. I wanted to test. I'm testing YouTube and I'm testing Facebook on two rather unfortunately controversial subjects. The first subject is going to be the January 6th riots. I think in a lot of areas we're just starting to be able to talk about it and to present more than just the media narrative. Maybe, maybe not. We're going to find out. Um, we may get hammered. We may get absolutely hammered. I'm trying not to get hammered for misinformation or any of that stuff. I'm trying not to. Um, and the second subject we're going to approach today is climate change. A real quick story. There's a new AI bot out there that, so you could, it's designed so you could write scripts to do training. The hook is if you are a person who works in a company and your emails are getting ignored, not read, they are attaching these little AI videos instead, where you write the script and the little AI character mouths the words and looks fairly realistic, and hopefully, whatever you have to relate will, you know, make it to your employee. Now, I thought I could use that to, use for updates and at least tell you, hey, listen, we got a special show, blah blah blah. This company said absolutely not. They said absolutely not. The first rejection of any video, that even the trial video I was trying to make, cited misinformation and disinformation. Now, all I had put in is don't forget the show. It's on YouTube, and it's on Facebook, and you can find it on Spotify. That's all that I put in, and I did let the when you were filling out the information about it that it was an urban conservative show, and that just so they had a free version of it that you can actually get all of like 36 minutes of video a year. All right. I figure if I do a 30-second video a month, that'll be fine. That'll work. That'll work out. That's fine. That's 24 minutes, and I still have 8 minutes left over. So anyway, so I signed up for the free version, and I just did something that just said, we're doing this now. Don't forget the morning report on Facebook. Don't forget the morning report on YouTube. Don't forget the morning report on Spotify and iHeartRadio. Within minutes. Nope. Um, so I appealed, and sooner than that, not at all. So I thought, wow, we knew that some of the purveyors of AI were leaning left. We knew, I mean, who didn't know that? Uh, but I thought, wow, now that's amazing that they would, I don't know, look into my name or the fightbackmedia.com or me just saying the word conservative, and that was enough to ban them from associating their stock avatars to anything that we wanted to say. Wow. But anyway, so that sort of prompted me to this point today. I want to see if we can still talk about some things. Now, if we can talk about things. Now, again, we may not be able to. They may take this video down. They may, hit my account again for misinformation. Make sure that it never ever gets monetized, they may take it down entirely. They may shut my account down entirely. They might. But today, at the end of this Memorial Day weekend, I'm like, you know what? A lot of people feared a lot worse and went through a lot worse. So, okay, let's find out. And what the heck, we'll find out. If not, we'll do something else. Not a problem. Not a problem. We'll just do something else. We'll do something else somewhere else. How about that? We're just going to go for it. Here's a clip from a U.S. rep talking about January 6th a couple of years ago. It is the insurrection that people keep talking about. And whether you knew it or not, there's still some people who were arrested or still in jail. Can you imagine? Hunter Biden is not in jail. Hillary Clinton is not in jail, and these people aren't going to go to jail. Barack Obama not. But Joe Smith, who walked through the Capitol, who we have videotape of walking through the Capitol, and then walking out, spending less than 15 minutes inside the Capitol. Yeah. Nancy Pelosi, who frankly is in charge of security of the House, making sure the House is secure and safe for the members, didn't. Nothing. Can't even talk about it. We can't even talk about it. I'm just bringing up questions. Can we talk about it? Let's see here. All right, I was wondering if I had a notification. I'm watching the Facebook feed over here to see how that's going. Seems a little washed out, but I think it's my new monitor. But in any case, this is what. Let's see if I can figure out this vMix, and that way you can hear what this representative had to say about it.
I know there is a lot of discussions about, January 6th, and I've been in the chamber January 6th, and I'll tell you something, we call this insurrection. I'll have to tell you, if the people that show up there wanted to do it, they would have succeeded, but they didn't show up for that reason. It was people that were upset because the quality of people came there. They were mad because we are not governing for the people. And that's unfortunately what was very strange to me, that Speaker Pelosi didn't have a security. Speaker Pelosi insisted for us to stay in the chamber, where I personally demanded to leave that chamber. So a lot of things, the other side dropped the ball. And it was very unfortunate for me to see that. So I think this is beyond the subject of this matter, but we need to stop, accusing people that disagree with the government that have been very corrupt and oppressive, to actually come here and, express peacefully their dissatisfaction. And there are always some bad players, and who knows who they are. But we don't call all people insurrectionists. This is just un-American to do it. And I'm sick and tired of the other side constantly doing it, because I knew a lot of people that were there in the crowd, and they're good Americans, patriotic, that love this country.
That is probably the most reasonable statement about January 6th that I've personally heard. There were some people there who were just there. And we are in this country, we can say, well, we could until then anyway, we could express our displeasure with how government is working. Have you noticed that recently, very recently, that displaying, well, sorry, back up, certain people, certain ideologies, displaying their disapproval of how the federal government is moving forward, or doing whatever they're doing, those people cannot express any displeasure without having names or titles or tags like fascist, xenophobes, homophobes, xylophones, I don't know. everything being attached to them somehow. Have you noticed that? That when somebody who has a certain ideology says, hey, listen, I think that taxes have already gone too far, and maybe I don't want to pay for that. Or they say something crazy like, I don't think that we should kill children in utero. I just don't think killing children in utero is okay. I think that's terrible. And at least the federal government shouldn't pay for it. That is for sure. And I don't think anybody has a right. This was the most crazy thing said, right, by certain folks. I don't think that anybody has a right to kill a child, even in utero. I know, crazy, ain't it? That kind of stuff will keep you from using certain AI bots to create videos. Those viewpoints, and those viewpoints may be enough to get us kicked off Facebook. That viewpoint may be enough to get us kicked off of YouTube, or an Instagram and TikTok and everything else. But again, we have to wonder why that is. What is so outrageous in the statement? I think her name is Schultz. I'm not sure where she's from. If you know where she's from, go ahead and write it in the comments if you heard that before. Now, the source I have is not like Newsmax or America One. It's C-SPAN. I mean, this was in Congress. This was C-SPAN. Now, what I don't like is if you look in the background, there is Daryl Issa sitting there on his phone. Instead of cheering her on, supporting her, paying attention, he's on his phone. I guess he probably wasn't playing Fallout Shelter, but he damn sure wasn't paying attention. He damn sure wasn't supporting her. And that's a shame. That is an absolute travesty. Now, can we ask the question? Is it okay? I mean, and one of the tags that we get, if you are of a certain political persuasion, is that you are an insurrectionist. Media could not wait. The left could not wait. Democrats could not wait to start calling people insurrectionists. And Schultz, Representative Schultz, says it correctly. Like in any crowd, there's going to be some bad actors. Going to be some bad players, and we don't know who they are, or do we? Anyway, but a lot of people knew. I told people not to. On this program, I told people not to go. Don't go. If you want to do something, go down to your local government. Go down, because we have to. This program. What we and me and my friend Paul do is say concentrate on the government nearest to you. Practice prophylactic government. I just told people straight out, don't go. It seemed, I don't know, something in my spidey sense seemed like this is a setup. This is a setup from the get up. And as we found out what it was, I believe it was a setup. And a lot of people got caught up. And some of them are still in jail. They didn't hurt anybody. They didn't break anything. They didn't threaten anyone. They're on videotape walking through the walking through the Capitol. They may even have stopped to pick up trash. When you see the videotape of people staying inside the velvet ropes, not running willy-nilly and pulling statues down, now, there are people of certain ideologies that like to pull statues down and put graffiti on them. But you didn't see that. What you saw is people staying inside the velvet ropes. And you saw some people picking up trash. There was an overturned trash can, and that was one of the things that I saw, and I went, "Wow, that's hardly the insurrection." The representative said if they wanted to get us, they would have, but they didn't. Did you hear that part? You didn't hear that part? Let's see if I can find it for you. Let me put my headphones on and let's see if I can find that part of the audio for you, of the video for you. As a matter of fact, hell, it's only a minute and 30 seconds. Let's go ahead and play it again.
I know there is a lot of discussions about, January 6th, and I've been in the chamber January 6th, and I'll tell you something, we call this insurrection. I'll have to tell you, if the people that show up there wanted to do it, they would have succeeded, but they didn't show up for that reason. It was January 6th, and I'll tell you something, we call this insurrection. I'll have to tell you, if the people that show up there wanted to do it, they would have succeeded, but they didn't show up for that reason. It was people that were upset because the quality of people came there. They were mad because we are not governing for the people. And that's unfortunately what was very strange to me, that Speaker Pelosi didn't have a security. Speaker Pelosi insisted for us to stay in the chamber, where I personally demanded to leave that chamber. So a lot of things, the other side dropped the ball. And it was very unfortunate for me to see that. So I think this is beyond the subject of this matter, but we need to stop, accusing people that disagree with the government that's been very corrupt and oppressive, to actually come here and, express peacefully their dissatisfaction. And there are always some bad players, and who knows who they are. But we don't call all people insurrectionists. This is just un-American to do it, and I'm sick and tired of the other side constantly doing it, because I knew a lot of people that were there in the crowd, and they're good Americans, patriotic, that love this country.
Well, Ian, someone will say that this is a Charlottesville sort of explanation. There were good people on both sides, that kind of thing, which is really not at all. This is somebody who was there. This woman was in the chamber at the time. She was there. And she is giving her report on what she saw of the people that entered the chamber, the people, and she has the same question that a lot of us ask. Now, a lot of people who disagree with you and me or whatever are simply refusing to understand or refusing to admit that Nancy Pelosi, as Speaker of the House, was responsible for security. Oh, and the mayor of D.C. Those two people were responsible for security there, and decided not to. When there is paperwork saying that Trump said you should get a whole bunch of National Guard, Mayor Bowers said no. Nancy Pelosi didn't pull the trigger on that either. And then later the press says that that there were people who died. There was apparently a Capitol policeman who died later, afterwards, died of a heart attack. The only person that was killed during all that melee was a protester who was killed by a Capitol Guard. Oh, well, I'm sorry, wait, an unarmed protester. But, the media doesn't care because the unarmed protester was a white woman. Obviously, some sort of mad white woman, maybe conservative, at least Republican, or at least a supporter of the president. Maybe Ashley Babbitt. But what we do know is that she was killed, and she was the only one. Yes, there were other deaths surrounding the incident later. Again, one of them was a heart attack. That's awful. It's terrible. I'm not making light of that. It's terrible. It's awful. But let's get real. Let's get absolutely real. Ashley Babbitt. I'm dealing with a stream. I'm sorry. Ashley Babbitt was the only person to be murdered or killed. I'm sorry. Can we talk about it? We're going to find out. We're going to find out. All right, the other thing that I want to know if we can talk about is climate change. Now, I'm going to play a clip from the Tucker Carlson encounter. Now, I got to tell you, do I think that everything that comes out of Tucker Carlson's mouth is the gospel that Moses brought down on the tablet? No. He's kind of a sensationalist. Kinda. Like most mainstream media figures are. Do I feel bad for him that he lost his job at Fox News? No, not particularly. That kind of dude could make it work, and he seemed to have made it work. But this dude right here that you're going to see, we're gonna listen. Like, what do you? I mean, I've got a clip, but we're going to listen to what this guy has to say, and then we're going to talk about it. Let me put my headphones on so I could hear. Ready to go.
Why for so long, even the idea that we are not limited and bounded by availability of, let's say, gasoline, petroleum, or coal. Coal now they won't allow us to use, right? As you know, in COP meeting in Dubai that just ended a day ago, they just physically declared themselves that we should stop using fossil fuel. Basically, petroleum, natural gas, and even coal. I mean, these people are insane now, really insane. I think they're going to harm more people with their own delusion. Plus, I always remember, these are people who actually don't represent the majority. No. Since when are this put up to vote? It's always about this minority, the tyranny of the few, always robbing the whole census, the good census of the good people. This is part of the reason why, as a scientist, I also speak out. Not afraid of anything except for just telling the truth. And I'm glad to have this opportunity to say such thing in your show. So,
the tyranny of the few. Again, and we get told all the time that this climate change thing, everybody's down with. Not just you, because you're somehow a climate denier. You, sir, are a climate denier. You don't follow the science. No, I don't follow the TV. And I still have some sense in my head, and some of the things that are being said just don't make sense to me. They just don't make sense to me. They don't. And when you look at, seriously, when you look at the number of things, when these people just say, stop using oil, and you look at the number of things that you have to have oil for, and these people just out of hubris say, you gotta stop using oil. Let me read you a short list. You ready? Adhesives, air mattresses, ammonia, antifreeze, antihistamines, antiseptics, artificial limbs, artificial turf, asphalt, aspirin, which I take every day, awnings, backpacks, balloons, ballpoint pens, bandages, beach umbrellas, boats, cameras, candles and gum, candles, car battery cases, car enamel, cassettes, caulking, CDs, cell phones, clothes, clotheslines, clothing, coffee makers, cold cream, combs, computer keyboards, computer monitors, cortisone, which I've also had to take, crayons, credit cards, curtains, dashboards, denture adhesives, dentures, deodorant, detergent, dice, dishwashing liquid, dog collars, drinking cups, dyes, electric blankets, electrical tape, enamel, epoxy paint, eyeglasses, fan belts, faucet washers, fertilizers, fishing boots, fishing lures, floor wax, food preservatives, footballs, fuel tanks, glue, glycerin, golf balls, golf bags, guitar strings, hair color, hair curlers, hand lotion, hearing aids, heart valves, house plants, hula hoops, ice buckets, ice chests, ice cube trays, ink, insect repellent, insecticides, insulation, iPads or iPhones, kayaks, laptops, life jackets, lightweight aircraft, lipstick, loudspeakers, lubricants, luggage, model cars, mops, motorcycle helmets, movie films, nail polish, noise insulation, nylon rope, oil filters, packaging, paintbrushes, paint rollers, pajamas, pantyhose, parachutes, perfumes, permanent press clothes, petroleum jelly, pharmaceuticals, pillow fillings, plastic toys, plastics, plywood adhesive, propane, purses, putties, refrigerants, refrigerator linings, roller skate wheels, roofing, rubber cement, rubbing alcohol, safety glasses, shampoos, shaving cream, shoe polish, shoes or sandals, shower curtains, skateboards, skis, soap dishes, soft contact lenses, solar panels, spacesuits, sport car bodies, sunglasses, surfboards, swimming pools, synthetic rubbers, telephones, tennis rackets, tents, tires, toolboxes, tool racks, toothbrushes, toothpaste, transparent tape, trash bags, truck and automobile parts, tubing, TV cabinets, umbrellas, unbreakable dishes, upholstery, vaporizers, vinyl flooring, vitamin capsules, water pipes, wind turbine blades, and yarn. Now, where did I get this list? From the U.S. Department of Energy. It's a long list. And I was thinking, well, maybe I shouldn't read the whole list because, golly, it's kind of ridiculous to read that whole list. I know. But I did. But I mean, can we talk about it? Can we? I mean, the whole just stop oil and all being pushed for what reason? To save the planet or to crush capitalism? Which is it? Which do you think? I'm going to go ahead and play a few more seconds of this video. I think you might find it enlightening. Alrighty, click the button.
I mean, if we haven't been told the truth about where hydrocarbons come from,
Right.
and we haven't, I mean, I've never met a single person in my life who said, wait a
Mm-hmm.
second, they're not all fossil fuels, then we keep hearing there's a scientific consensus on climate change. Every
God.
scientist believes the same thing about it, believes Al Gore and John Kerry. Maybe that's not true either.
Oh, that I can tell you, please. Thank you for asking that question, Tucker. I've been working on this subject of CO2 causing climate change, or what other factors we can ask that cause climate to change, for close to as long as since my postdoctoral year 1991, right? So it's about 32 years. And on this question, I think we have a very definitive answer. What we know now is CO2 ain't gonna cause nothing. It's not gonna change much of the climatic system, which means it won't change the speed of the hurricane. It won't change how fast or how frequent tornado form. It won't even actually make any difference to the polar bear population. It's all conservation issue, right? On polar bear, it won't even cause how much fish you don't catch. It won't even cause what they call ocean acidification. It won't even cause this problem that they claim. It's all artificial. Everything they do, it's all dream from their model and the tyranny of the few again. That those few people just dream up this scary story that it just ain't true. And then when you come down to the most responsible group for this kind of bad stuff, I was reminded by my colleague, Dr. Ronan Connolly and Michael Connolly, my two co-workers with me on my group, is to say that since I work so carefully and I have about more than 100 scientists the last 3 years alone working with me, so I don't speak on behalf of them, I speak on behalf of myself. My view is that the UNIPCC, United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, is one of the primary problems, which means they have been misleading people. They've been using authority of science, which is not true, right? It's all governmental hackers, basically, right? People like John Kerry, who I guess can barely take a proper physics class, who keep claiming that greenhouse effect is so simple, right? And then he refused to explain how does it work. Right? I mean, he did all of that is very terrible. That really embarrassing to America. He did that in Bali in Indonesia several years back. That is just so embarrassing.
Do you think he can explain how it works?
I don't think so. Even Al Gore, who claimed to be knows something about science, I challenge Al Gore. I did some of that in his face actually. I was lucky enough to be in one of those Wall Street Journal eco conference, and I was giving, setting up with all the UC Santa Barbara student. Please make sure when the question come out, give me the mic. Well, I was making friends with them the night before. I explain now my details of my work. So I got the mic and I asked question about Al Gore, because one of the primary sad thing that they refuse to recognize, that I know you know that in even grade school sciences, CO2 is a gas of life. When you have more CO2, the plant kingdom, the whole ecology, even the oceans, gonna have more, basically ability, more fishes, more everything.
More life.
More life, essentially. That's why it's called gas of life. And these people want to demonize it as some gas that can cause global warming, can cause hurricane to run faster or weaker. I don't know what they want. To have more rain, more droughts, and all this other nonsense that they claim. All of that, it just ain't so. That's the problem. By the way, this is how serious I am. I check everything they say. I check. As a scientist, you cannot just dismiss them. You cannot laugh at them. You cannot, chide them. You cannot just make joke of them. You check everything. So as a very serious scientist, and I publish scientific paper refuting all of these arguments. Scientific papers maybe mean nothing to the average people, but it's really important. It's like a document that you have to document and then put out the proper scientific arguments about what is right, what is wrong. So that's what we have been doing at my particular center called series-sign.com. So anybody...
Oh, it's funny that John Kerry, couldn't pass a basic physics, physics class, and when these people are challenged, they don't respond. Whenever they're challenged, they don't respond. They just do what? They just call us deniers, right? They just say that 95% of, and that's not true either. Oh, and I see. I have some friends who say that, some acquaintances who say that kind of stuff. I always go, you know what? You know what else 95% of scientists used to say? Yeah, that, if you were sick, put some leeches on you to suck out the bad blood. Yeah, that was a medical practice in America, in the world, not in America, but in the world. I don't think leeches was ever an American thing. I think that was a European thing. Sorry, I'm checking the stream to see. I'm checking it to see if it's even still on, and it is. So we'll see. Anyway, let's have these discussions. Let's go ahead and have these discussions. I think during this election season, we need to talk about January 6th. I want President Trump to talk about January 6th. I don't think it's okay to end the argument with, if you're pro-insurrection, then you're anti-American. That's Joe Biden. And nobody's pro-insurrection because there wasn't an insurrection. Nobody's pro-insurrection. They're not. But they'll frame it that way. No. I think that we should take the position of this representative. No, if they wanted to, they could have, but they didn't because that wasn't what people were there for. I'm not a climate denier. There is climate. And because I did not fail biology in 10th grade, I understand photosynthesis and I understand the importance of CO2. It hasn't changed. The importance of CO2 hasn't changed. It's funny. I gotta go. I had this discussion. I feel like pastor doing it. You go to church, have that fake clothes. Yeah, you start packing up. You're like, oh, never mind. But anyway, I had this discussion with one of my neighbors who thinks that I'm a climate denier, and I'm like, you know what? Because I remember what photosynthesis is, and he mentioned to me that you don't get nearly the amount of oxygen out of the process as you do, I mean, when you put CO2 in. And I said, that's not true. That's not true at all. As a matter of fact, it's 6 parts in. 6 parts of carbon dioxide in and 6 parts of oxygen out. Now, this may end up with a tag on Facebook because they're going to tell me that, that's really not what the entire discussion's about. But it kind of is. It kind of is. Let's see if I can show you the. Give me a second here. That's why I need more than one person to do all this stuff with. I don't even know what this is. It says photosynthesis. Let me see here. I'm going to. Here we go. We'll go ahead and put this on the screen for you. The process in green plants and certain other organisms by which carbohydrates are synthesized from carbon dioxide and the source of hydrogen, usually water, using light as an energy source. Most forms of photosynthesis release oxygen as a byproduct. Right? You see that? It does. So with that being the case, let me go ahead and make the flip back here. Give me a second. I'm trying. I told you, this program is new to me. There you go. And so it is true. It's extremely true that what we're talking about is. Let's see if I can get the. I can. Wait a minute. Give me a second here. Nope. I thought I had downloaded the formula, but I have not. I don't have time to look for it. So anyway, know that at the beginning of the photosynthesis formula, if you remember any of your high school biology, it's 6 parts CO2, and it yields at the very end 6 parts oxygen. It's 1-to-1. So to tell people that you can't plant enough trees to keep up is BS. It's BS. And as a matter of fact, what's starting to happen is there is enough CO2 that the planet it's not dying. It's greening in a lot of areas that weren't greening before. It's greening in a lot of areas that weren't greening before. And what does that mean? That means there's more oxygen, or the potential for more oxygen. It also provides habitat for more creatures. You have a lot of creatures who live in trees, right? A lot of creatures who eat plants, berries, that kind of stuff. And if there's more of them, there's more habitat, which might collide with where humans want to build their $2 million houses. That might happen. But like the professor said, CO2 is the gas of life. But can we have these conversations? Can we have them on social media? I don't know. I'm looking at let me see if I can refresh the stream here on Facebook, and still seems to be on. But I don't know if we can have these conversations on social media. We may be at a place where we can now. We've always been in a place where we should. So, let me know what you think in the comments, both on Facebook and on Rumble because we're recording this. I'm going to put this on Rumble and YouTube. Again, my name is Willie Lawson. This has been The Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of FightBackMedia.com, 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 and FightBackMediaTV.com. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.